Hello, my name is Mr. Ken. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this episode, we'll be talking about alimentary canal. Without wasting much of our time, let's dive into it. Now, alimentary canal is also known as what? Digestive tract or digestive system. Actually the basic function of alimentary canal is to digest food substances that enter into it. It also would absorb the nutrient in the food, leaving the undigested. Let's talk about the functions of the alimentary canal. The first function of alimentary canal is ingestion. Ingestion is taking in of food substance. So ingestion actually takes place in the mouth. Yes, the food is taken into the mouth where the food is masticated. Masticated, which means the teeth helps to break the food down into smaller pieces, and the tongue also helps to roll the food into bolus so that it can easily be swallowed. That's the first function of the alimentary canal. The second function is digestion. Digestion is the breaking down of large food particles into smaller and absorbable form. Then digestion takes place in the mouth. Yes, it also takes place in the stomach, and also takes place in the small intestine. The small intestine. Yes, the small intestine. These are where digestion takes place. Now we'll talk about what actually happened in these parts in the process of digestion. Now, the next function of alimentary canal is absorption of digested food nutrient. Absorption of digested food nutrient. So the food nutrient in the food and the digested food is taken into the bloodstream through the walls of the small intestine. Absorption actually takes place in what? In the ileum of the small intestine. Ileum of the small intestine. That's where it takes place. So the ileum of the small intestine has finger-like projections called villi. Singular is villus. These help to increase the surface area of the small intestine for efficient absorption of food. Now, the next function of the alimentary canal is egestion. Egestion is the removal of undigested food substances. So after digestion, which ends in the small intestine, usually in the ileum, the undigested food are moved to the large intestine, where they are gotten rid of to the anus. Also, absorption of water also takes place in the large intestine, or what we call the colon. Absorption of water takes place in the colon or the large intestine. So these are the basic four functions of the alimentary canal. Now let's talk about the parts of the alimentary canal. Let's take a man as a case study here. The alimentary canal of man include the mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, which include the duodenum. Also have the jejunum, which is like the junction between the ileum and the duodenum. Then the large intestine, also called colon. Can also put appendix here. Appendix, then rectum and the anus. These are the alimentary canal of a man in a chronological order. The mouth, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, which are divided into three parts: the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. Now the large intestine, also called the colon, the rectum, and the anus. These are the basic parts of the small intestine. I can also decide to add pharynx here. The pharynx was also is a part of the passage of the food in the alimentary canal. So these are the parts that make up the alimentary canal of man as a case study of mammals. Now, talk about the mouth. What happens in the mouth? Now, the first thing is that the food is ingested in the mouth. The food is ingested in the mouth. Now, as the food is ingested in the mouth, the teeth help to chew the food into smaller pieces. Now, the food mixes with the saliva. Now, the saliva helps to soften the food. It helps to soften the food. Now, the saliva contains an enzyme called ptyalin. Enzyme in the saliva is called ptyalin. Enzyme contained in the saliva is called enzyme in the saliva. It's called ptyalin. Or what we call saliva amylase. Now, this saliva amylase or ptyalin acts on starch. It acts on cooked starch and converts the starch to maltose. It converts starch to maltose. Starch is converted to maltose by the ptyalin. So that means digestion of starch starts in the mouth, because only enzyme that contains the saliva is the ptyalin, and that ptyalin acts on cooked starch. Now, still in the mouth, the tongue helps to roll the food into bolus, which helps in easy swallowing of the food. These are what happens in the mouth. This happens in the mouth or during a process of digestion. Let's talk about the esophagus. The esophagus, nothing much happens there, just that the food passes through the esophagus. The esophagus moves in a wave-like manner when the food is being swallowed. When the food passes into the esophagus, it moves in a wave-like manner. That movement is called peristaltic movement. Peristaltic movement or peristalsis. Peristaltic movement or peristalsis. Yes, the peristalsis or peristaltic movement is the wave-like movement of the esophagus during the passage of food. That's what happens in the esophagus. In the stomach, the food is stored and being also digested. Now, the stomach is the muscular bag that stores food, and the food from the esophagus enter into the stomach when the ring of the stomach open. The ring, which is called pyloric sphincter, allow the passage of food from the esophagus to the stomach. Yes, to the stomach. Now, the food is churned in the stomach, and the food become more watering, and in that form it is called chyme. In the stomach, the gastric gland produces gastric juice that contain two enzymes. The gastric juice that contain two enzymes, pepsin and renin. The pepsin acts on protein and converts protein to peptones and polypeptide. The pepsin acts on protein and converts the protein to peptones and polypeptide. Okay, polypeptide. That's what the pepsin does. Then the renin curdles milk. That is thickest milk. Why it thickens the milk is so that pepsin can act on it. The milk. The milk is usually in liquid form. Pepsin cannot act on it in a liquid form. So the renin thickens the milk into a thick curd, then being acted by the pepsin and convert the protein to peptones and polypeptide. Now, another thing that happens in the stomach is the action of the hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid is also secreted in the stomach. What does it do? The hydrochloric acid, HCl, first of all, it helps to provide an acidic medium. Provide acidic medium for the enzyme to act. Provide an acidic medium for enzyme to act. Acidic medium. Also, it helps to kill bacteria that might have been entered the stomach through the food. So this is what happens in the stomach. Note that digestion of protein starts in the stomach. Digestion of protein starts in the stomach. The food stays in the stomach for 2 to 3 hours and then moves to the first part of the small intestine called duodenum. So these are the basic things that happen in the stomach during the course of digestion.